Hi there, Karen here with my buddy Whiskey Sour. Hope you guys are doing great and your December is good so far. I wrote a blog today called What's Wrong With Me? Now, this isn't me asking the question. If I was asking the question, it would be, what's right with me? It's a weirdo thing. What if you are in love with someone who's not in love with you? I saw this question pop up after I had put up that do you love someone but you don't like them blog. Well, I'm sure the most consolidated answer we could get from our community is, move on, let it go. I can hear it already. It would seem like the answer is that you can't make someone love you who doesn't, but even if you could, why would you want to anyways? The next step would be to tie them up like that movie Misery with Kathy Bates. Just hope they become your biggest fan. Unrequited love doesn't seem like fun to me. Doesn't seem like much fun. Love to me is more than a crush. It's about letting go of control. And the most love that I think we can show someone else is to let them choose, because I believe, like I've said before, the greatest gift that we have is choice. So I think the greatest gift that we can give someone else is choice, and that freedom, that true freedom to choose. You know that whole, if you love somebody, set it free. If it comes back, if it's yours. If it didn't, it never was. And then, of course, everybody adds on the, oh, hunt it down and kill it. That whole thing. I believe it was Richard Bach originally had said it. I could be wrong on that. I'll have to look it up. But that whole quote, to me, I really believe if you love someone, you just love them without expectations. That's it. Just love them. And wherever they want to go, they can go, and they should have freedom. They are not something we own. I don't believe people are like our car or our house, or there's no deed with people that we know, and so I don't believe there's an ownership thing. So that whole idea of you love something, set it free if it comes back to you, if it's yours, if it wasn't, it never was. I think the original quote said something, not someone. So I think that's where it got a little bastardized along the way. But getting rid of the notion that a relationship is about ownership, I think, is a really good start. If we can determine that we have relations with another person, we don't have an ownership. There's no pink slips or bank ownership. Excuse me, this is dry season here. Awful. This question seems really, to me, this whole what if you're in love with somebody and they're not in love with you, that seems like a wishful thinking question. To me, that's all it seems like it really is. But the sadder part is I believe there's something more potentially damaging about a question like this. I think the follow-up question could be, why don't you love me? Because a person can feel like they didn't do enough to have the reciprocated love, and or they are not good enough for that other person. And consequently, we'll just feel like the world's biggest screw-up when we feel like we're not good enough for their love. This can turn into the question that I have at the top of my blog, which is, what's wrong with me? And to me, this is the scariest part of where that original question, what if you were in love with somebody who's not in love with you, that turning into what's wrong with me is the scariest scenario where I can see this going. And that's what concerns me more, is that this person who's saying it thinks there's something wrong with them. And on our website, thepublicrecord.com, where we have built a song from the ground up with the community there's several bands, and they kind of all do their own thing on there. But the one band on there had auditioned to have a girl in the community, instead of them going and using big Hollywood casting agents. They just reached right out directly to the girls and said, who wants to be in our video, and send us a video of yourself and stuff. So they just wanted to just have a direct relationship, and I applaud that. That's cool. But when they pick this girl, when they finally pick who it's going to be, and there's been like tons and tons of people entering, these other girls are going to feel this way. I can guarantee you, or at least a good part of them are going to feel this way. What's wrong with me? They're just going to. I already see it in their comments. So I think they will probably lie in bed and wonder what's wrong with them. Now, casting, in the world of casting, happens all day long. If you guys watch TV shows and films and videos and stuff, somebody casts those parts and casts those roles. When you watch a show like Lost and you think, what a fantastic group of people. Well, they're not all beautiful that are on the show. They all work together. for the greater good of the show. And I've worked in casting before, and you might remember me saying it's not about how good someone is or how pretty someone is, it's about if it's a good fit for the overall project. There's been times where I've sat in casting and somebody who was really awesome didn't get the role because she was 2 inches taller than the guy who had already been casted, and it was going to set the camera off balance. Something as simple like that. So it has nothing to do with what's wrong with you and you feeling that sense of rejection. But some people feel like relationships work this way as well, where we feel like we're auditioning our partner, and then they can make us do all sorts of tricks to see if we get the part of the relationship. It's silly. If we don't get the part in the relationship, we wonder why they don't love us, what's wrong with us, and we can be hurled into depression because of it. And our depression isn't just simply longing for them at that point, but also feeling really bad about how worthless we are. While we didn't mean anything to the person that we had a crush on or loved or whatever you want to call it, and so therefore I now feel depressed and I now feel worthless. And the auditioning analogy, it shouldn't be a part of relationships. It's just how people are viewing it. But even if it was, it would hold the same premise. The two of you together just aren't a good fit. If somebody was zooming down, if the rest of us looked down, we would clearly see that if the love is not reciprocated and it's unrequited love, then it's a doomed relationship. It's not going to work. That's how the rest of us is zooming out can see. But when you're right sitting there in it, feeling that rejection, it's just not that easy. So I personally don't want any relationship where another person doesn't want to be with me. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of tricks to trick them into loving me. I believe that we are better than that. As individuals, we are better than that. And outside of all of this, I feel like we've become way too focused on romantic relationships anyway. Or even some of the friendships that we have. We just get a little too focused on trying to keep or trying to maintain or trying to get someone to like us and these sorts of things. But what if we simply have a bigger job on this earth to do, and this diversion of this other person is distracting us? How can we ever know what lies ahead when we're stuck looking back all the time? And if you get your eyes get too focused on one other person, you might be missing, Mr. or Miss Right over here, or you might be missing your job or your bigger purpose in life. And that's what's more interesting to me. And if someone doesn't love us, they don't love us. They just don't. And it's heartbreaking and it's sad and it's all those things, but it shouldn't be an indication of your worth. It should have nothing to do with that. It shouldn't feel like rejection. It shouldn't be that we have to adjust who we are to make them love us. And it's no wonder that plastic surgery is at an all-time high. Why the lineups are ridiculous. Why the money spent on plastic surgery is ridiculous for augmentations and tummy tucks and getting rid of the crow's feet and all these kinds of things that people are going to do because they don't feel like they're getting the reciprocated love. That's the reason, and it's kind of sad. Of course, I have to ask, what kind of person are you interested in if you are willing to go through hell changing yourself? What does that say about the person that you are trying to change for? Like, what kind of companion is that? Who are you picking? And if the person that you love are truly worth, I say it so loosely, fighting for, there shouldn't be a fight. It just shouldn't be that hard. It should come pretty seamlessly and really quite naturally to me. That's the awesome kind of love, given freely, given unconditionally, and meant to be. Just meant to be, simply meant to be. So the rest of us who are zooming out, we clearly see that's not reciprocated and it's doomed. That's how clear it should be. Just, it's not going to work. So, I don't know, that's the kind of love that I feel in the true sense of the word love. And if you do really, really love that person, then just let them be free to choose. And you know what, if they don't choose to be with you for whatever reason, or they do things that are hurtful to you, that's their problem. That's their journey. It's not your journey. And that whole situation might be distracting you from your bigger purpose and your greater journey. And that's kind of sad that people would miss that, would miss out on your journey in life, what you're supposed to be doing. Excuse me again. So yeah, move on. Move on, my friend. Your exciting life is waiting for you. Wondering where I would find the time to obsess over someone in my day. You know, it's just, when I think back to that movie Misery, you know, I look at the role of Kathy Bates and I'm like, lady, you don't got enough to do in your day. You're so interested in making sure this guy is yours and tied up to your bed and, you know, staying with you, and you sit there and play mind games on him all day long. Where do you have the time to do that? You're missing out on your journey too, you know. I just think maybe people don't have enough to do in a day. I don't know. So yes, it is sad if we don't have that love that we feel back. But keep in mind, that other person might not have the ability to love you. They just might have some things going on in their life that they're not at a point where they can even offer that. And, you know, that's their journey. And so I think it's important to focus on our own journey and where we're supposed to be, and keep our eyes open to the things we might be missing while we're distracted by that person. So I signed off today with a Charles Schulz quote. I've been enjoying watching all the cartoons, by the way, on Facebook. Everybody's been changing their profile to bring more awareness to child abuse. And I was abused as a child, so I put my Pink Panther up there right away. Of course, I colored it to be more like the Funeral Mutant, and he's got his hat on and everything. But I saw Charles Schulz quote where he says, "Nothing takes the taste out of peanut butter quite like unrequited love." It's true. It's if you've ever set up a picnic basket to take someone out and hang out with them, and if they don't want to do it, your peanut butter sandwich just doesn't taste very good. It just doesn't. I think it's probably better just to enjoy your peanut butter sandwich. But then again, that's just me. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing really well out there, and of course I always enjoy hearing from you, but I do suck at responding. I do want to add that with Christmas coming, just to reiterate what I was saying yesterday about the CDs, I am sending out STEVER CDs. Still, the Playground Isolator CD is still available. I still have that in stock to give you guys. And if you want me to sign it and send it to a friend for Christmas, that's totally cool. Just email me an address. I'll get it out to you. Pay for it whenever. Doesn't matter. I understand that it's that time of year where money can be a bit short. All right, so feel free to email me about that. Other than that, I will tune in with you guys again tomorrow. And until next time, from Whiskey Sour and me, there he is. He's such a cutie. Can't hardly wait to get a real one. It's going to be so fun. Soon. Get out of here. Get in another place where I'm allowed to do that. It's going to be awesome. All right, till next time, guys. Rock on.